Hello, everyone. Hello, Regina. Yes, he's okay. Hello, everyone. God bless you, Monroe. Good to see you. Hey, Shunny. I'm sorry, I thought you was Shunny. Hey, Sunshine. Hi, Belinda. God bless you. I'm just going to give it a little bit more time, see if other people will be able to come on. I'm going to try not to keep y'all long. Y'all, this is so crazy. God bless you, All About Grace. Good to see you. I'm looking at my laptop so I can kind of see y'all's comments. God bless you, Diana. Yeah, they're still investigating what happened, but I'm pretty certain this was an attempt on his life. It was definitely a warning. And it's so crazy, y'all, because I'm gonna share the dream I had with y'all um, a couple of days ago. But I literally was having a conversation. Um, I think it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before yesterday. And I was literally talking about, just all the dreams I have had over the years regarding Trump and just me seeing the assassination attempts on his life. Um, I've pretty much shared a lot of the dreams I've had about Donald Trump on my channel. Um, but there has been many dreams I've had about it. God bless you, Misha. Um, y'all, let me go ahead and share the dream. So I was going to come on here. Today is Saturday. Um, so I had the dream on Thursday. I was going to share it Thursday, but I got kind of busy and I didn't get around to it. I was like, okay, I'm going to share it on Friday. I ended up putting it off on Friday. And so today, I kind of did some ripping and running today, got home, and I was like, okay, I need to share this dream. And so, about a few minutes ago, I'll say about 30 minutes ago, I was online because at first I was contemplating if I wanted to go live or if I just wanted to record the video and just upload it that way. So I was looking online to find like a picture because it was something that I had saw in the dream and I wanted to see if I could find something similar. And that's how I found um, the article regarding Trump. At first, I thought it was satire. So I was like, let me go on YouTube and let me see if this is real. And sure enough, I saw the actual video. And it's like, once I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I got to come on here and share this dream. Um, so Thursday, it was a two-part dream. I don't fully understand every single thing I saw, but I'm just going to share it. Um, so the first part of the dream, I was standing in line And I noticed that my attire was like very dressy, like I was wearing almost like a ball gown. And I noticed when I looked up, I was standing behind, um, I saw Barron Trump, I saw Donald Trump Jr., I think the youngest daughter is Ashley. I think that's her name, Ashley Trump. And then I saw Melania. And we're all standing in line. And I knew that we were trying to get into this room. I can't tell you because for whatever reason, I wasn't able to remember all the details, but I just know that I was trying to get in with this group of people. Um, for some reason, we were all trying to get into this room. And when they called um, the family of Donald Trump into the room, I was included. I was the only one of all the other people standing in this line that was able to walk inside this room with them. Once we got into the room, we all sat down and we sat at our own individual desk. There was a guy who was administering these series of questions. I don't know what the questions were. I just remember one question, but I can't remember the purpose of it. I don't understand why we were being asked these questions because for whatever reason, I wasn't able to remember all the details. But I just remember that the first question that he asked was, when you get a headache, what do you take? And then it was option, take a BC powder, take a prescription, or take nothing. And when you choose whatever response you wanted to choose, you would write it down on a piece of paper. And I remember that I chose nothing. After that, I remember going into the next scene. The next scene I saw, um, I'm sorry, I told y'all I saw Melania Trump. I meant to say Ivanka Trump. So in the first scene, I saw pretty much all his kids. It was Ivanka, Donald Trump Jr., Barron, and Ashley, if that's the youngest daughter name. I saw them. Now, the second scene, now I'm standing outside. I see Melania Trump holding a microphone and she's talking to a crowd of people. I can't see the crowd of people because the way I'm in this vision, it's only allowing me to focus on Melania at this time. But it was made aware to me that there was a crowd of people she was talking to. Um, oh, Tiffany, thank you so much. I wasn't sure with Ashley, but yes, Tiffany, that was who I saw. Thank you so much for correcting me. Um, I saw Melania speaking in a microphone, and she's talking about her husband, Donald Trump. What I remember her saying is the reason why Donald Trump is able to speak the way the reason why Donald Trump is able to speak the way he does, the reason why he has strength, and the reason why um, he's able to do the things that he does, it's because of the tie that he's wearing. And as soon as she said it's because of the tie that he's wearing, that's when the vision took my eyes off of Melania and it's like it moved it over. And that's when I saw Donald Trump. And Donald Trump was standing in front of me. He had on a white collared shirt and he had an American flag tie. It was like a tie, but it looked like the American flag. He had that type of tie on. He never said anything, but when I looked at his face, and I can see his face so clear even now. He just looks so tired. He looks so worn out, so exhausted. And immediately I was taken out of it. And so, as I was pondering on this, I was just really going back over the different things that God has shown me about Donald Trump. Now, I told y'all years ago, not even that long ago, I told y'all I had been on the fence with Trump. And I told y'all the reasonings behind why I was on the fence. But what God has really been helping me see is there's a reason why God has been showing me the things he's been showing me in regards to Trump. And it's because he really wanted me to see him. He wanted me to understand what he's doing with Donald Trump. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of this live, I have had multiple dreams regarding seeing assassination attempts on Donald Trump's life. One of those dreams, I recall being in an airplane and I'm literally seeing a map on the dash of this plane, and I can see where the plane is heading. And it was made known that what I was looking at was where Donald Trump was heading. It was like I was following him to protect him. And it was made known to me that I had to follow him close because there was another plane that was trying to take him down. There was another dream where I was in a hotel room and I knew it was Donald Trump's hotel because I saw his name engraved in gold in certain spaces in this hotel room. God bless you, Felicia. And all of a sudden, there was like mingling going on. There were women, there were men, there were children, and they were all like just kind of talking amongst themselves. It was music playing. And all of a sudden, I heard gunshots, and everybody just fell to the ground. And it was made known to me that whoever this was, it was somebody who was close to Trump, because the only people who were in that hotel were people who had access to him. And so I had that dream. And after I had that dream, I remember I came on here and I shared it with y'all, and I told y'all to pray for him. I also had a dream where I saw Melania Trump. I'm sorry, I keep saying Melania. Yeah, Melania, that's his wife. I saw Melania and I saw Barron. And it almost seemed like, and I don't even want to say this out loud, but it gave the vibe like something had happened to Donald Trump. And I could see like these celebrities singing this song, I'll Be There by Michael Jackson. I shared this with y'all a few years ago. And even when I had that dream, it just didn't feel right to me. And I'm like, again, y'all pray for Donald Trump. This whole time I'm on the fence. This whole time I'm praying like, Lord, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this man. I don't know what to think. I don't know how to take him. I don't know if, this is somebody that you're using. I don't know, because I'm the type of person where I don't just go off of what everybody say. I need God to show me himself. I've always been that way, and I'm like that with every single thing. I don't move in a direction or anything unless God is personally showing me. And so I had a dream not too long ago where I was literally in this room, and there were people who were basically just supporting the fact that they did not want to vote for Trump. And I could tell the room was divided. And I grabbed the microphone and I started walking around the room, and I was asking everyone the question, Give me one reason why we shouldn't vote for Trump. Give me one reason. And nobody could give a reason. When I tell you, you couldn't hear anything in that room, it was just dead silent. And I was looking upon the faces of the people that were sitting in this room, and you could tell that there was such a shame and a guilt that they had on their faces. And it was like I was pleading, even to the people who were so dead set against not voting for this man. I was pleading even with them, give me one reason, just one reason why I shouldn't vote for Trump. And no one could say anything. And so when I really just started taking a step back and I really started um, just really putting everything together with everything that God has been showing me about this man, even to the point where God has been even showing me his family. Like I have had so many dreams regarding his family, being in private spaces where God is showing me in his office setting. God is showing me in a private meeting with Donald Trump and other people. And I'm praying and I'm asking God, like, God, why do you keep showing me, having access to him in this way? And even when his home was raided, I dreamt about that prior. I didn't fully understand what I was seeing, but I literally saw that before it happened. And it's like I'm constantly like, Lord, I know you're showing me these things for a reason. I just need you to help me put two and two together so I can make sense of this. And so for me to dream this 2 days ago, and I literally was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was literally telling her, at this point, with everything that they have done to this man, and this is a question that I always pose to anybody who I have a conversation with regarding Trump, whether it's, just someone that I am just associating with, if it's family, I ask them, why is it that they are fighting so hard to stop this man from running? Why are they fighting so hard to prevent him from being president? Because the argument has always been he's working for the opposition. If he's really working for the opposition, why are they fighting the way they are? They have done everything you could possibly do to someone, to ruin them, to strip them of any type of credibility, stripping him financially. Like, everything you can think of, they have done. The only thing left they have is to unalive him. And so when I had that dream 2 days ago, and let me even share this because I didn't even share this. Sometimes when I dream, I don't always know what I should share and what I shouldn't share. But it was so brief, and that's why I chose not to. But I literally dreamt too. This was sometime last month. I had a dream that it looked like I was like in this cafeteria setting, and I could see these black men sitting at this booth. It looked like like if you go into a restaurant and you can just sit at this booth. There were many black people that were just sitting at this booth, and I saw Trump sitting amongst them, just having this casual conversation. And I could see that there was someone preparing the food. I couldn't see anything about this person. All it let me see was its hands. It was a Caucasian man, but I just knew that he was a Caucasian man just because that's the only thing I saw. And I could see his hands just preparing the food. When it came to him about to give Donald Trump food, Donald Trump put his hand, next to his plate as to say, he was like, don't put anything on my plate. And that was all I saw. And I was like, why would I see that? And as I was meditating on that, it was like the Holy Spirit started speaking to me. And it was like, I felt like the Lord was showing me that it's to the point where he's even having to be careful in who he is trusting around him when it comes to preparing his food. Like, can y'all imagine being in this type of environment where you don't really trust anybody? How can you? When you have so many people that is plotting against you. Y'all, I can't explain. I feel such a heaviness in my heart. I feel such a heaviness because the magnitude of what just happened today, this is very serious. This is how deep the evil has gotten. Like, I've literally been feeling so heavy in my spirit, this this fight to hold on to the things that God has been showing me, because you can feel it. Like, of course, I can only speak for myself, but I feel such a pull in the spirit. It's like I see what God is doing. I see the moves he's making, but it's like the enemy is like he's fighting so hard against it. And the evil that is at play right now, it is so it is so huge. And it's like I can't get that image out of my mind when I saw Trump, because I was literally talking to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, help me understand what you're conveying to me. Because here it is, I'm listening to his wife speak about this man to a crowd of people. No one knows their husband the way a wife knows. And in the way she was speaking to this crowd, it was like she was really trying to get them to understand who this man is. And for her to say the reason why he's able to do the things he does, the reason why he's able to speak the way he speaks, the reason why he has the strength that he has, it's because of the tie that he's wearing. And it just so happens that the tie he was wearing was representing the American flag. See, I feel like that American flag is representative of the fact that God is the one who established this nation. God is the one who chose this nation to be a beacon of light to the rest of the world. God chose America to spread his good news, to lead by example. America used to represent strength. It used to represent brotherhood, decency, freedom. All of these things that would express a place where anybody would want to come to just so they can have peace, so that they can have an opportunity at life, an opportunity to raise their families, in a way that is, transcended to just so many abundant opportunities and resources to change the course of what the previous generation may have been, given hope. For me, even to dream of seeing myself soaring in the heavens, and I'm literally flying over the heads of people singing America the Beautiful. To see me being commissioned by God to pray over this desolate place, and it's being made known to me that this is America. And I'm praying over this nation, not knowing what I'm saying, but I'm knowing and I have the understanding that whatever it is I'm praying, I knew God was going to do everything that He was having me to pray about. Everything that God has had me come on here and say. See, when you speak a thing into the atmosphere, demonic spirits have the ability to try to fight against those things that you're speaking. We see that in scripture where it was held up. I can't remember who it was. Was it Daniel that was praying and his prayer was delayed for 21 days because the angel of God was literally having to wrestle with a principality because the principality was trying to stop the prayer. See, just because you're praying and you may not see the manifestation just yet doesn't mean that it fell on deaf ears. There's a wrestle against that word. There's a wrestle against that prayer. We have seen in so many ways the enemy fighting unfairly when it comes to this election and when it comes to Donald Trump. I'm not telling you to just be in love with this man, but what I'm telling you is that at some point you have got to take a step back and use logic. And you have to ask yourself the question, why didn't they go this hard when Hillary Clinton was running? Why? Look at all these people who have ran or has tried to run. Either they just back down for whatever reason, and we don't even know the reasonings behind why some of these people from the Republican side, why did they, back down? And I'm not talking about just this year. I'm talking about even in prior years. We got to look at the fact that there is higher elites. And if they don't want you, if they feel that you are going to go against the plans and the agendas that they have, they're going to do everything they can to stop you. But look at Donald Trump. Look at how they have come at this man hard, and he is still standing. And so when I saw his face in my dream 2 days ago, I saw someone who was tired. I saw what his strength looked like without God's hands on him. This was a human being who was worn out. But because he had that American flag as a tie wrapped around him, that was what was giving him strength. That is the reason why he has been able to fight and stand and persevere and endure. So you have to ask yourself the question, if we know that there are two powers, one being demonic and one being of God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, what only makes sense at this point? What power is he standing in? What strength is he standing in? I'm not sure about Donald Trump as a person, but I know God has used him for his purpose. And that's what I'm saying. I think we have to, when it comes to discernment, we got to see it for what it is. Everything is not going to fit into like a specific box, because God, he's limitless in what he does. When God is doing a thing, it's not going to just be in one individual box. God can use whomever he wants to use. I'm not saying Donald Trump is saved. I'm not saying he's born again. I'm not saying he's a believer. I'm not saying he's a Christian. I'm not saying he's a follower of Christ. What I'm saying is, if you take all of your personal feelings and you take all of your reservations and your judgments and your whatever you have about this man and just solely look at what we're seeing in front of us, you gotta see it for what it is. There's not a lot of people, when you look at how corrupt this government has been, when you look at all of the people who have compromised because of the government that we have running this nation, there's a lot of people who have compromised on every side. There's not a lot of people who could or would stand up in the face of adversity. God can change the heart of anybody. He can soften hearts. He can harden them. He can remove kings. He can put kings into position. God can do whatever he wants when he wants to. And that's what we got to focus on when we're looking at this situation right here. I know there's a reason why God has been showing me the things he's been showing me about this man. I know why he showed me all these assassination attempts, because he was wanting me to pray for this man. Let me see. Amen. Our steps are ordered of the Lord. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if he was shot. We did hear there was some type of shots fired. It didn't sound like gunshots. But again, if you have a silencer on, it's not going to sound like your average gunshot. So I know they are investigating that, but when you could hear the sound coming from the crowd, he immediately grabbed his ear and went down. And when they came and got him, like when Secret Service surrounded him, you could tell he was injured on his ear, and his ear was bleeding, and there was blood coming, or blood was on his face as well. God bless you, Ruth. So they said that the shooter was identified as Mark Violet. Um, it was just reported. I appreciate you sharing that, Ruth. The power is trying to incite a civil war. I mean, they're definitely trying to do that, but they're also trying to they're trying to get him out the way. That's what they've been doing. Um, for years now, they've been trying to get him out the way. But it's so interesting because I'm literally working on the video portion of this song that I've been telling y'all I'm about to share with y'all, because I feel it's the time to share it, but at the same time, it's like, even though I feel like just putting it out here, I almost feel like I'm being held back a little bit too. But I know that this song is so timely. Like, this is a noun word for us. And I know that's why the enemy is fighting so hard. Because when you look at how far they have taken this nation down, it's literally holding on by a thread. So for them to see someone like Trump coming in, who will turn all of the stuff that they've done, turn it around, undo the laws, undo all the damage that they've done. They do not want anyone to come in and undo what they have done. Because in their minds, they have accomplished so much to get this nation to the point of where it's at. And they have. But what God has been showing me is that He is going to bring restoration to this nation. That's what He keeps saying to me. That's what He keeps showing me. And again, when God is doing a thing, you better believe Satan is going to fight extremely hard against it. We cannot be shocked by that. We can't. But what the enemy meant for harm, I don't care what the situation is, what the enemy meant for harm, God is going to always turn it around and make it good. God did not speak governance to me for no reason. See, I can come on here and I can say all of these things with confidence because I know how God has spoken to me repeatedly over the years. I know how God has been showing me prophetic things since I was 13 years old. I have a history with my Father. I know how He speaks to me. He shows up in everything He shows me. It always comes true. Everything He has shown me, it always comes true. And that's not me gloating. That's just me expressing why I'm confident in what I'm saying. But it's different when you're hearing it. And I get it. But I can only speak what I know. And I know what God has been showing me when it comes to this nation, His hands is still over this nation. His grace is still over this nation. He is not done with this nation because there's still more that has to happen. So, yeah, like I said before, there's a reason why we're seeing all this exposure. Do y'all not think that if it was just meant for all of this to just continue to go downhill, what would be the purpose in God allowing exposure? It just would continue to be what it was, everything continually being done without us being aware of it. What would be the point of allowing all this stuff to be revealed and exposed? That's part of a restoration. You got to, you know, you got to shed light on a matter before you can actually bring healing to it, right? It's the same thing when you're looking at the condition of this nation. A lot has been done, a lot of damage, and a lot of people have been wounded in the process. There's so many layers to this, y'all. We see the breakdown in families. We see the breakdown with this young generation, the mindsets, the lack of morale, the lack of faith. People don't believe in God no more. People don't respect God anymore. Perversion has skyrocketed. There's no respect for marriage. People are confused when it comes to their own genders, not even understanding the basics of biology. When God said he will send you over to a reprobate mind, we're seeing it. When you continue to go down a path and you refuse to reflect on what you're doing and repent and turn from that, he will let you just keep going down that path of delusion. There is so many layers that has been broken, not just from a standpoint of the United States, but from a humanitarian perspective. Like this evil has, it has gone wild. And there's a lot of layers God has to pierce through. Because even in the dreams that God was showing me about him bringing a restoration to this nation, I was seeing people being set free. Like I could tell people were bound in their bodies. People were bound in their minds. And it was like a light went off and they're now back to themselves. I know that everything that we've been seeing and even what we're seeing today, this had to happen. Like these are things that has to play out. But at the same time, we have to see from a right perspective. Even when it comes to your walk, God could pick us apart and he could point out every wrong thing that we have done and that we do on a daily basis. But that is not who God is. Because he has so much grace on us. He knows we're not perfect. He knows we're going to err. He knows we're going to make mistakes. So what he focuses on is the efforts that we show every single day. He focuses on our heart, how we're fighting. We're trying so hard to do right. We're fighting so hard to overcome those things that may not be pleasing to God. And that's why God doesn't have to, poke us every single time we do something wrong, because he sees how much we want to do right. And so if we can understand that's how God looks upon us, that is the same way we have to look upon other situations when it comes to how we are supposed to properly discern things. Because again, I don't know what Donald Trump's final, I don't know when Donald Trump leaves this earth if he's going to be saved or not. Only God knows that. I hope and pray that he gives his life to God. And I mean, genuinely surrenders his life to him. But nobody can say Donald Trump will never be saved. Nobody can say that. So all I have right now is the fact that we have seen throughout scripture God use the hardest vessels to make a point, to utilize that vessel for whatever reason for his purpose. Because, I mean, remember, the disciples were looking at Paul sideways like, this is who we're supposed to, allow in our circle? The same one who was killing our people, we're supposed to trust this man? And it took them time to really understand why God will call upon this man. And some even have their opinions on Paul, even when it comes to his ministry. But it's the fact that God saw his life. He saw the choices Paul made, and yet he still chose to use him. And I can't stress enough the times that we're living in and have been in for these past 5-6 years. We have seen a corruption in this government that has been out of this world. There has been so much division. There has been such a moral decline. We see people struggling financially. The way they are stripping away our rights and freedoms, the lies, the deceptions. There's no integrity. There's so much darkness, no matter where you turn. And yet, we see exposure. We see exposure in the church. We see exposure when it comes to different places of entertainment that people have allowed themselves to become so consumed by. We see exposure in our school systems. We see exposure in the court system. We see exposure from Congress. We see exposure in every facet of every government that is established in this nation and across the board. God is allowing the exposure because he wants us to see. This is how y'all have been lied to. Y'all chose this over me, and I need you to see why you made a wrong choice. I told you this over here was bad, so I need to show you why I was telling you this all along. I told y'all not to be of this world. So I need y'all to see what's really going on with the people that you're worshiping and you're idolizing. I need y'all to see the life that they're actually living. There's so many things that we have been blind to. And God has to open our eyes and help us to see the truth for what it is. The world has been under a very hypnotic spell. And God is needing to wake us up. He's needing us to really see what has really been going on in front of our eyes this whole time. So I'm praying for Donald Trump. I'm praying God will continue to protect him. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like God shows me bits and pieces. I don't know why he shows it to me that way. But I just know that I have to keep praying for him. And I advise all of y'all to pray for him. Because that's what we're commanded to do. We're commanded to pray for those, even those who are considered our enemies. We're commanded to pray for them. But I just had to come on here and just share my heart with y'all because I'm sure down the road, God will probably give me even more revelation on why he showed me what he showed me recently with Donald Trump. But just as far as where I'm at right now, that's pretty much what I understand. I really just feel like the fact that he was wearing that tie, that was an American flag. I felt it was indicative of the authority that he's standing in. And whether you like it or not, God chooses who he wants. Um, I don't know. I mean, if what I say, I'm still on the fence with Donald Trump. I feel where I'm at. I feel I'm still watching. I feel I don't feel I'm on the fence. I feel I'm off the fence, but I haven't really just moved in either direction. I'm just kind of standing up against the fence and I'm just watching. But I can say to you, I have more to go off of now than what I did before. I feel like there's a reason why God is communicating different things to me when it comes to the things he's showing me regarding Donald Trump, that he's really needing me to understand. Because the same way there are different facets of ourselves, we're not just one. It's not just the Veronica who comes on here and share dreams and visions. There's the mother, there's the wife, there's the friend, there's the daughter. You know what I'm saying? There's many parts of me, just like there's many parts of y'all. And so when you're looking at an individual that God is showing you, I feel like God has shown me different parts of Donald Trump, but I have not completely seen the full picture. But I just think it's very important that we're able to see things from a perspective where we're not placing our own judgments on it, because you're not going to always understand why God does what he does until he helps you to understand it. And that's even if he chooses. Sometimes he'll just do stuff and not explain it because he don't have to. He don't have to tell you why he does what he does. You just got to trust him. But sometimes he will explain it. I definitely feel we should stay alert, keep our eyes open, and see the moving parts with this and how it transpires. But this is very serious, y'all. And I can't stress enough, for me to see his wife speaking on his behalf, even that makes me feel like it almost speaks to why I saw him looking so tired and so worn, because it's almost like she had to speak for him because he's so tired. I don't know. I'm still trying to understand why God showed it the way he did, because when God shows you something, there's so many details to why he's conveying it, because it's a puzzle. There's something he's communicating. But I just remember the look on his face. Like he just, I can't get that image out of my mind. He just looks so tired. Donald Trump is 78 years old. He's 78. This is a man who has lived life, seeing different presidents, seeing what this nation used to look like, what it used to be, how America was revered and respected. He has seen all of that. And for him to be standing in the position he is now, looking at how far this nation has declined on so many levels, who else could do it? Who else could embody all of that and really stand in the position of really fighting for this nation and being able to stand in the face of all of this evil? There's not a lot of people who have the type of money he has. Look at how much money he has spent fighting them in court. I mean, and I don't know, it's so many different things I can speak on, but I'm trying to be mindful of certain things. I feel like there's not a lot of younger people today that truly understand. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm saying there's not a lot of younger people today that are willing to really stand and fight for this nation. Because I see a lot of people, like I said, conforming. I see a lot of people that are just lazy and they just go with the majority. I see a lot of people who are not critical thinkers. They just, do what's easy. But when you're fighting the way he's fighting, you can't afford to be lazy. You can't afford to just go with what the majority is saying. I just I just know that God knows what he's doing, and God doesn't make mistakes. God is very strategic in what he does and whom he chooses to use for whatever reason. And it's been this way all throughout history. It's not going to change now. So I just want to say all of this. Um, Pray, continue to pray for this nation. Continue to pray against the attacks of the enemy, and how the enemy is trying to bring about even more chaos and destruction in this nation. We have to be very specific in how we're praying. We can't be lazy with our prayer. We can't just say, Lord, protect us. No, be specific, be detailed in how you want God to protect. Because we're definitely in the middle of a war, a spiritual war. But I do know it's not going to last too much longer. And I've said this to you many times, and I'll say it again. Satan cannot stop what God has purposed. Satan cannot stop what God has purposed. So I love y'all. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for his family. Um, Pray for this nation. And Lord willing, I'll see y'all in the next video or in the next live, whatever comes first. Y'all take care. Love y'all.